The emotional bank account. We know what a financial bank account is. That's the cash that you have. But the emotional bank account is tied to self-image, self-respect, self-esteem, and that is what usually is the barometer of how successful someone will be. It's also what most people struggle with the most. They're outside of their comfort zone oftentimes. They have to do things they haven't done before, and they have to either push through those times or they have to quit. And so understand that you are not alone if you're struggling with your self-image, your self-esteem, your comfort zone. Just understand that. So as I look at these and do more mentoring, I find that that is, in fact, the barometer of, most of the time, coupled with action, what leads to success or not. So understand that. So how do you work on that? I would highly recommend that you read a book by Jim Newman called Release Your Brakes. I also was asked and eventually did put together a 30-day course on mindset. Just go over to brucewhipple.com. You'll see that course there. 30 days, an action item, something to do each day. And eventually, at the end of 30 days, if you've done all those actions and taken that, you'll have a much stronger self-image than you did at the beginning. That's the intent anyway. One of the examples of this is something that happened pretty recently. I've got a mentee, and he said, I'm absolutely terrified to make cold calls. In his case, they're actually warm calls because he's following up on letters. So he has a sales job, which is interesting. I asked him, what if they call you? He said, no, that's fine. But when you call them, then you're terrified, as you put it. Yeah, that's right. So we talked about why that is and how the first sale has to be a sale to yourself, whether it's board members, professionals, banks, prospects. You have to believe that what you're offering has value. And unless you can make that sale to yourself, the rest of the process is going to feel very uncomfortable in terms of those calls that you make. So we talked about that. We talked about what he was offering, why it gave true help to businesses that are struggling right now. And I said to him, tomorrow, just go ahead, make 5 calls. That's it, just 5 calls. So he said, okay, I'll do that, 5 calls. So the following day I called him, I emailed him. I said, did you make your 5 calls? He said, not 5. I made 128 calls and talked to 17 prospects. For that week, he made 300 calls and talked to 47, I think it was, actual owners. So take a look at that, from being terrified in a very short period of time to being able to make 300 calls in a week and getting through to actual prospects. And at the end of it, he said, the first few were a little rough, but after that, no problem. So look also at how quickly a change in mindset can affect what you're doing. It really can happen, but the first sale has to be to yourself. So if you're interested, go over to brucewhipple.com, take a look at that mindset course. That may be helpful. Certainly read Release Your Brakes by Jim Newman, and you could grab the free class over on brucewhipple.com when you're there. If you want to go there directly, just go.brucewhipple.com/free class. That'll put you on the mailing list where you get 3 emails a week. They contain actions that you can take to move you along, something like this. So the point is, understand that people struggle with this. Understand that you are not alone, and understand that there are things you can do to correct that situation, to push through those areas where your emotional bank account needs to be strengthened, such that hopefully you can in fact succeed in this process. I make no guarantees with that, but I do know that the process works, and those that work and strengthen their emotional bank account coupled with action have the best chance for success, and I hope you're among them. But you've got to take action, and you've got to keep pushing.